every time. I love that video. So hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Estes. I am here with Felipe. We are going to be talking about ideas that scale. We are representing the Emerging Voices Unite community and the Top Voices Unite community. And these are places where people come, knowledge experts, to be able to share what they're learning, what's going on in the community, what's going on in corporate. And then we turn around and we share that with you, our founders, executives, investors, so that you can be able to scale your business, scale your impact within the communities that you serve. So with no further ado, I would like for you to introduce yourself, tell us about what you're doing right now and our day.
Sorry, the music started playing on the laptop. So Nikki, thank you for inviting me here. It's a great honor to be here. I love all the work you've done with EVP and Top Voices United. And for those of you I haven't met, my name is Felipe Cofino. I'm been an HR executive for 25 plus years. Really been passionate about improving the workplace where I'm at. I've also started and founded Cofino Consulting, where I offer services for recruitment, training, HR compliance, auditing, and workplace culture. And that's something that really was a dream for me to do in my retirement years, to do what I love, but it got fast-tracked a little bit during the pandemic and other crises in the world. I'm also an international best-selling children's book author of Miranda and Max, which I published the story of my daughter when she was young. And now I'm just finished the second one, which is my son's book, which is Backyard Adventures Brings Brady and Lucky the One-Eyed Cat. It's a funny story because my son actually tried to call the fire department to get the cat out of the tree. FYI, spoiler, it doesn't work. But I'm also a LinkedIn top voice, which I don't take that lightly at all. That's something that when LinkedIn gave it to me, when I found out, I had to open up my page and poof, there it is, you know that, Nikki. And then you see, oh, I got emails too. But it's one of those things where I take that seriously because that means that the stuff that I've been putting out, people resonate with it. LinkedIn feels like it's valuable. I felt like I had to up my game. I had to make sure that everything I was researching was T's were crossed, I's were dotted, and I had the right information because I felt like people were relying on what I was providing as accurate. So I never took that very lightly, and I still don't take it lightly. And I'm a family guy. I have a wonderful family. I have my 94-year-old mother who just had a birthday this past Sunday, live with me, and I have two children, Miranda and Brady, and my wonderful wife, Michelle. And we have our second son, which I call him. He was our foster son, and he's an adult now, Sebastian. And I have my wonderful pets that I always talk about, Copper especially, who's my wonderful dog.
I love it. Well, I mean, you were a part of the beginning of when we got the blue badge. We wanted to create something with the Top Voices Unite that really gave visibility and credibility to the messages that we were all putting together, right? We wanted to, those are talking about marketing. Okay, well, let's teach marketing. And those talking about operating a business, what does that actually look like? Not just, hi, I'm trying to sell something, but like giving really trusted, credible information. And I have to lean on LinkedIn thinking that each one of the ones that they chose are strong communicators. They're good storytellers. So I was excited when I got to see your blue badge. I was like, oh, what is he all about? And so the HR, that's a whole different ball game that I've never had to deal with. You're wrapping a community around that. So what does that look like for you as a leader that's helping others to develop their skill set? What does that look like for you right now in AI?
It's challenging. It's really challenging because there's people that are all over the board. There are people who are all in. There are people who are totally against it, and the people in the middle who are just playing with it. For me, in the world of HR, what I've realized is that, like with anything, let's learn about it. Let's understand it. Let's find out how it can be useful and the right way, and make sure that it's ethical and that we're not doing anything that's overly costly. And analyze it like you would anything else. You got a new vendor, you got a new program, a new system. You review it and analyze it. What I realized is that education and telling people, hey, just play with it. Just play with it. Even come up with a recipe for your dinner tonight, and just see how it works, opened up doors. And from there, what people were starting to realize, like, oh, you started seeing the light bulbs go off and be like, wait, I could actually save time doing this. I could save time doing this. Now, what I did at my last place was I created a policy around AI. I taught how to use AI. We gave everyone a license and told them, here's what you can do and what you can't do. Here are the guardrails. A lot of them felt like, well, I feel like I'm cheating. I'm like, okay, well, give me an example. And they're like, oh, well, I draft these long proposals. I'm like, all right, how long does it take you to draft a proposal? Oh, I don't know, 8 hours sometimes. What if AI drafted it for you in like 8 minutes? And then you went through it with a fine tooth comb. How long would it take to do that? Well, editing takes me a couple hours. I go, okay, so wouldn't 2 hours versus 10 hours be more valuable? Think about what you could do with those 8 hours. You could take time to work on another project. You could take time to rest. You could take time to spend time with your family. You could start thinking strategically about the future instead of having to be reactive. You can be proactive. And so the light bulb started going off. Marketing had the hardest time. Marketing's like, no, it's going to replace us. It's going to replace us. I'm like, it's going to save you time. And so what I did was I had a proposal, an idea, and I had ChatGPT help me create a marketing proposal. I have never written a marketing proposal in my entire life. I don't know what it looks like. Don't ask me what is entailed. But I had my idea. I wrote it all out. I said, can you put this into a marketing proposal format? I sent it to them. I said, I want to show you something. What do you all think? Like, who did this for you? Are you all hiring somebody? What's that? I go, stop. I put an idea and I had it write in a proposal to share with you. If it can do that for me, think about what it can do for you and how you could focus on what's really working in the marketing, which marketing campaigns are actually making progress, and you can spend more time looking at the analytics versus creating new things all the time. And that was a big beginning part of it. Today, it's really about sharing how they're using it and sharing best practices, because the reality is that there is a report I saw, I posted about it, where the CEO of NVIDIA, I think it is pronounced, he basically said that, him and another AI CEO are saying people are trying to use AI too quickly to replace people, and that people are still valuable. And they were saying, don't make that knee-jerk reaction. And that's something that's so important, because AI is already, people have already said, LinkedIn CEO said this, other leaders have said this, there's so many skills that AI can't replace right now. Hone in on those skills. So that's what I'm focused on, upskilling people in the workplace, to hone in on those skills, to make them more valuable, to help them grow and see what they could actually do when in the past they thought maybe they couldn't do it. I mean, Nikki, you and I, we grew up learning through books mostly. I don't know about you, but I had to pull out the Encyclopedia Britannica to do an essay sometimes.
Yes.
We all have so much more access now to learn. So if you don't know something, we can upskill ourselves without having to go to a paid seminar or a college course. And so I invite people to lean into it, to learn about it, and figure out if it helps you learn how to be more efficient at home cooking or more efficient as a leader. Just try it, because it's not going away. And we have to accept it. Whether you accept it 80%, 20%, that's your choice.
Sure. You brought up LinkedIn. I would say that they're getting, cracking down on like the comments. They don't want those to be AI. That's a human that has to be on the other side of that. Making posts, it's like, okay, well, you can write your post and then give it to AI to clean it up to where it looks prettier, but it's got to be you that's speaking. If we're going to be teaching something, it actually needs to be real knowledge, not some made up thing that ChatGPT pulled together from different sources and said, okay, this is what it is. Has it been tested? So I would say that we have to keep human in the loop. And we've got some people here commenting HITL. That is the first time that I've ever seen it made as an acronym. So yes, Mike, keeping the human in the loop is going to be key, not just the employees.
Well, and also I think is important is that, you talk about the human connection. AI is being detected on a lot of different places. If you're sending a resume, a cover letter, it's detecting it there too. And as a recruiter, I gotta tell you, when I get those LinkedIn AI messages, I can't tell you how many of them are identical. Like especially the first two sentences. I'm always coaching people, at least customize the first paragraph of what you're sending, because if the rest is the same as everybody else, okay, but when the whole thing is just a repetitive, same messaging, I dismiss them. I really do. And that's why I think it's important when people realize that that human connection is what's going to make you stand out. More as time goes on, the people who are leaning into curiosity, compassion, creativity, things that AI can't do yet, you're going to stand out, because those skills are going to be needed more than ever.
Sure. Well, that's the difference of leaders for tomorrow. They're going to be able to still speak. They're going to be able to use their minds. So in using, technical tools like AI, they're going to know how to connect, how to adapt, and how to lead people through change, which is kind of unique. That wasn't unique before, right? But it's going to be a unique quality if they continue with that.
I think leaders need to make sure that they're thinking about how can they stay true to who they are and not lose their identity, but still use AI as a tool. An example, okay, I'm going to say a shameless plug here, but this book here, I'm not an author, and yes, I know it's a children's book, so it wasn't hard to write. But the graphics, I love to sketch. I love to draw. I drew the animals in this picture, but I can't draw people that look, I can't draw people that look like the people I want them to look like. So guess what? I had AI take photographs of my family and say cartoonize them. Then I had AI take the images that I sketched of the animals and said cartoonize these sketches into similar looking as the people. So you know what? Am I cheating? No. That's what stopped me from writing that book. I never would have accomplished this goal if I hadn't allowed AI to help me, not do it for me, help me in the areas I needed help in. And so that's why I think that a leader is going to say, hey, you're a valuable human. I need you. Where can we save time so I can utilize your skills better? And where can AI help you so that you can be a better human worker? Because that's the bottom line, is that people have already made a knee-jerk reaction with layoffs and are scrambling to get people back. Now, I'm sure the people that need the job are like, I'll come back. I'm sure there's other people that are like, forget you. I am not coming back after you treated me that quickly. What's going to stop you from doing it again? And those reputations are going to stick. So leaders need to be proactive, listen to their HR teams. And I will say this, there was an article I read today about a CEO who fired his HR team. I'm like, oh my God, what's this about? It was interesting because the HR team was looking for problems. They were actually going around saying, is everything okay? Oh, this should be better. And they would go create problems. That's not a good use of an HR team. HR teams should be solution-oriented, trying to resolve things and be proactive, not look for problems to validate their purpose. So that's why the human connection is important, to make sure that people are being trusted. Trust is a huge part during this whole AI journey.
Sure. Measuring all the analytics of how it's actually helping is the benefits, right? And then using it to be able to help us to find those solutions. I mean, that's a good use case. We have someone here that, Michelle Norton, don't you feel the time that you have now for non-reportable tasks due to AI will become subtracted from the expected time to deliver, which become the new benchmark? What do you think about that?
So yes and no. There are leaders that are going to push that limit. And I think the smart leaders are going to say, okay, how can we maximize the extra time you have without burning you out? And I think that could be the magic key to seeing leaders, is that, are they just trying to see how much more they can overload you with? Or are they actually saying, okay, let's prioritize this for you as an individual and for the company? Because look, the company's got to keep on making money, and it's got to become a ways to be efficient. So let's not be always saying, oh, you're just trying to take advantage of me. If I freed up 40% of your time and I'm still paying for 100% of your time, yeah, I'm going to give you more work. I'm sorry. That's the way it works. But if you're burning out and I find a way to save you time, I might not necessarily add more to your plate if you're on the verge of burnout. And that's where a business intelligent and emotionally intelligent leader is going to succeed.
Yeah. If you're looking at the time that they're spending, and normally they're maybe even sees, we were talking about this recently with another group, is that if they know certain people on their team have a month that maybe someone is passed in their family, well, the next year you can realize that that month they may not be as productive, right? You're being emotionally aware of what's going on in your company, or maybe they have something going on at home, well, you can have that time to be able to evaluate that. But because of the AI skills that they've developed, like, they don't lose very much because you're still hitting the benchmark. You're just maybe not going above and beyond that month, which I'm thinking through, like, how do we be able to push, to encourage, and then use that extra time that they have maybe to upskill, so.
Well, and that example you just gave, that would be, I would be extremely impressed of any leader that had the intelligence and the foresight to go up to somebody and say, hey, I know the anniversary of your loved one that passed away is coming up. If you need to take time off, whatever you need, I'm flexible with that. So just let me know. That right there, that kind of comment would just floor somebody to think, wow, not only do they care about me to make sure I'm okay, they remember. Mm-hmm. And that's something that all this stuff that we're talking about is probably 5 to 10% of your time in the workplace, but it's probably 5 or 10% of the most valuable time that you could apply. Because honestly, when I have a great worker, my biggest fear is I'm going to burn them out and they're going to quit. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that they don't ever get to that burnout part. I want them to be producing. I want them to be on fire. But when I had this one director of training that was like, I can keep on going. And I go, stop. I go, you've been going nonstop for like a week and a half. Take a break. No. I'm really proud of what I'm doing. I go, I'm beyond proud of what you're doing. So nothing you do right now is going to impress me more. You're going to start going downhill because you're going to start making mistakes. I want you to take a break and come back refreshed so you can continue this trajectory of success. And again, so giving somebody half a day to leave early so they come back refreshed does not kill the business.
Right.
Being a jerk and not being human enough to recognize it, that could kill your reputation.
That's true. When we talk about team culture, we have Joe here from the King's Leadership Consultancy, and that's a lot of what he talks about is building that team culture, which AI can't do. Maybe someday there'll be an agent, that can be able to facilitate sending you reminder notices of their birthday, something like that, or whatever would be a baby step. But to actually call them, like that would be more of a slap than it would be, right? Yeah. But about human, like to build that culture to where they realize you care for them, you don't want them to be burnout, you're going to give them a day off when things are whatever negative. I like Joe's style.
And Joe makes a great point, because culture, you got to start building culture in the beginning. If you wait to build culture when you're big, guess what you're going to end up doing? You're going to hire a company to come in to help you build the culture because it's gotten too out of hand. So and I've seen that happen more times than not. It disgusts me how much money is spent on people to come in to build culture. And it's ironic because I offer that service myself. It's just sad when people need it. It's very sad. But I can tell them, I can help them fix it. So one of the things that I realize is that every culture is different. AI is not going to predict a model that's going to work in every company, because I've been in hospitality, banking, nonprofit, education. All 4 cultures were different. My approaches were completely different in some cases and similar in others. But one of the key common denominators is having a group, a team, a committee, if you will, of people from different departments, different levels, different backgrounds, different tenures, so that you have different ideas shared, and that culture can form into something that's truly a part of everyone, not just the leadership's opinion.
I like that. I've heard of a customer advisory board where you would bring them to talk about like what the company needs as far as solutions go. But as the team, to have them to come together and talk about what the company needs.
And here's the thing: the culture committee, you think it's like, oh, okay, they're doing fluffy. No, the culture committee drove all the old committees. When they had a customer service issue in banking, we talked about it. What's our culture? What do we want to do for service? How are we going to take care of them? When we had an issue with IT and computers or with the whole pandemic, the team discussed ideas. They threw ideas. It wasn't leadership just bouncing ideas. They had their own meetings. This culture committee brought ideas to leadership saying, hey, we have some ideas we want you to look into. And they brought up more than half the ideas that we used. So it sounds like it's such a simple thing to build, but it takes time. It takes time, patience, and the payoff was strong reputation, more business, more clients, better reviews. It kept on going.
So then we've talked about how leaders can be better. Let's talk about the professionals that are working there. How can professionals focus right now? What is it that they can focus on that helps them to stay relevant during AI acceleration?
One is helping people right now more than ever. Training is always taking the back seat so often. More now, helping your people grow, because AI is growing. And if they don't learn it, they're going to fall behind. So you being a catalyst of helping them create an atmosphere where it's safe for them to grow and learn with it, not only is it going to help them grow as an individual and gain some new skills, it's going to help your company become stronger and they're going to be more loyal, and your success will be on the right trajectory. Leaders can do this. Leaders can create some clarity with policy around AI and how it's supposed to be used. Create a safe training atmosphere. We're saying, hey, we want to train you on some things. Now we want you to go out and come back after half an hour with something just that you played around with. I don't care what it is. Just come back with something. Use the AI agent. Use the deep research, whatever. Come back and let us know what you discovered. Give them that free reign, and then come back and share best practices. But here's the thing: what leadership needs to do is make sure that the overall message is, I'm not looking to lay off people and save money with AI. I'm looking for us to make money and have stronger people. And when you see the leaders doing that, those are the ones that I want to help. Those are the ones that I want to work with, or work for even in some cases. Those are the ones that I see them being the future focused leader that are going to surpass people and all the rest that are going to be catching up and following. Because as we know with everything, there's always a leader in success and things, and then people start to follow suit. Who wouldn't want to be that leader during this time period? And going all in or not going all in isn't the answer. It's how are we going to use it to move forward?
So it's not that they need to know everything. They don't need to be the top AI expert, but rather they need to learn how to evolve with the company. They need to be able to move.
And take their employees with them. And that's the thing, but send that message that you're not looking to find ways to replace them. That's not the ultimate goal. It's finding how can we use AI to help the company become more efficient. And will we maybe eliminate certain jobs? Yes, but you also might gain more jobs. I mean, have any of you seen any AI technical specialist jobs? I haven't yet, but guess what? I guarantee you they're coming. There's going to be an AI, just like an IT specialist, there's going to be an AI specialist. There'll probably be an AI help desk at some point, watch. But the point is that get ahead of the game and put your team at ease and take them for the journey, because when you're transparent about what you're trying to do, they're going to be able to see that and support that. When you don't tell them, they fill that gap of no knowledge with fear. And it usually is not favorable. And they're going to end up leaving you because they want to leave before they get cut.
Sure. There's a good point here that Daniel makes about AI has been around here for years, for decades, right? We realize that AI is just a technology that is advanced, right? They've been using it in the background. My husband's a coder, and he was like, yeah, it's been here. But what we have now with the LLMs has really put a highlight on what technology can do. So when you said about right now we have a technical specialist, and maybe someday we'll have an AI specialist or a front desk office person. Like, that's going to be someone that's going to understand what the technology is and using it with the human in the loop, HITL. I like that acronym. It's great. I'm gonna start using it. But the thing that Jay says is that the emotional impact on humans, this is this fear that has happened. But if we are to embrace it and we are to evolve with it, and realize that it's just technology on steroids, right? And that if we learn what it is, we teach ourselves how to be able to use it effectively, then we can be more effective with our positions. Because like Christy says, AI cannot replace the human empathy aspect. I love this. These comments are so valuable. I like our audience today.
Yeah, we have a great audience, and empathy factor definitely cannot replace. And there's definitely, Daniel Hall's point is so valid, because there's so many people out there that are misusing it. And I think one of the things that I've realized with AI is if you try to use it, okay, I'll give you an example. I had gone on an interview, and I had interviewed with 19 people for the final interview. Okay, 19 people. I wanted to send them thank you letters. Oh, dear God, I'm going to be here all night. All right. So what I did was I said, here are the list of people, here are the positions. And I wrote, I had lunch with this person, talked about this. I had talked about this with this person. I just made notes about each person. I go, help me write a short thank you note to all of them with these messages, specifically mentioning about the school, the position, the culture, whatever, things that they talked about. And it did it for me. I went through, I tweaked all of them a little bit, and I sent them. All that within an hour. It would have taken me like 8 hours to handwrite every single one or type every single one individually, remember what I wanted to say and repeat the same for, so it's a time saver. It's not replacing me. I still added the things that were unique about our interactions. I just had it help me save time. Are you good? Okay, here's an example.
Yeah.
Are you going to go around your floor and pick up every dust ball and piece of dirt, or are you going to use a vacuum cleaner?
Vacuum.
I mean, seriously, are you gonna make your life harder if you don't have to? So that's why I think AI is just another thing. The thing I wanted to mention earlier was everyone has had AI. We've had AI in our life for a long time. The difference today is we have access to use the AI now and create things. Before, other people were using AI to create things. We now have access to it, and that's why it's like, oh crap, this is scary. Yeah, it can be if you watch the movies, but or use it irresponsibly. But let's be smart like everything else.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point, that we have access to it now. So we can be just as strong, as powerful, as empowering, as encouraging as those that had it before on the masses. So then if we do a good job, as the Top Voices Unite community can do, and teach people how to use it appropriately, like the thank you card message that you gave. And I'm going to give you another example. We just took a 31-day voyage on our boat, and we were taking videography to create a YouTube channel to show people how a family like ours travels on a boat to the Bahamas. And we thought it would be entertaining, the videos and whatnot, but to be able to keep up with all the data, how much gas we used, the miles that we traveled, the bumps in the road, the restaurants to go to, all of these things, I got clawed out. And so for our stops, my husband and I would go and we would record where it is we are, what time it is. We would take pictures of the GPS, all these types of metrics that we put together for this. And then at the end of every week, we would stop and we would have it to write us a report. I had tables, I had images, I had storylines. I was like, this is amazing. So the next phase now is that we have it build out these like little clips, and it's telling me at which point during our trip that I should take the clip and to show what we did. And it did it for me. I don't have to put all that together. It knows my personality. It knows what I want to get out of it. It knows the outcome that I'm looking for. And then it is putting together those details. So yeah, I love the access that we get now that we didn't have 10 years ago.
Exactly. And one thing I do with AI is very agreeable. AI will tell you that your ideas are great.
Right.
I always tell the AI, take on a role of playing devil's advocate, poke holes through my ideas. I want this to be well thought through. So think about it from all different angles and give me some good constructive feedback. And when it does that, boy, does it share a lot more. It goes from, oh, that was a great idea. Like, well, you could do this. This could look like this. This is not going to be perceived well, possibly because of ABC. And so let it help you, but let it be critical. Yeah. And here's the thing. Companies out there are already using it. If you are applying for jobs or you're looking to move up in your career, understanding AI is going to be a skill set that they're going to be looking for. So what are you waiting for? Start today. You're not behind the 8 ball if you start today. If you wait until next year, you might be.
Right. I would say that if you've been using it already, tell it to pick you apart. And there are some prompts that we can give in the comments later. But tell it, how can I improve? What are skill sets that I'm missing? What are things that I should be talking about? Maybe in your LinkedIn, right? Things that people are perceiving you as. How can I be able to structure my content better in a way that is received by the people that I want to have received it? These are all things that it can fuss at you. It can be pretty harsh. My ChatGPT is hard on me.
What's that?
I said my ChatGPT can be pretty hard on me, because it knows everything from the beginning. I just switched over to Claude and Gemini maybe 2 months ago, so it doesn't know as much about it.
Well, and yes, it does learn a lot about you, and sometimes I have to remind it. Tell me about Felipe, and what do you know about him? Now, Melissa Houston, who I do a show with, she did this little thing where she asked it to create an infographic. I did it for myself, and I was just curious, how well do you know Felipe Cofrino create an infographic based on the things that are important to me? So I created this. Now, what was interesting is that it talked about my strengths, my journey, my brand colors, my soft spots, my hobbies, my dreams, my quirks, my weaknesses. That was interesting. Philosophy and what drives me. It was all accurate. it was all accurate, and I was kind of like shocked at how accurate, and some things, were a little bit like, okay, legacy. I talked about legacy in the book, okay, a couple times. So that's not, something I talk about all the time. But so the reason I share that is when you see people doing things with AI, there's a whole trend of people creating action figures of themselves with AI. You don't need to post all that crap, but try it, play with it, because what it's doing is it's teaching you how to use the prompts. It's teaching you like, oh wait, that's not how I look. Oh, do this instead, and you start learning how to create things graphically. You learn how to create documents. The easiest thing to do is what if you had to write an art? Someone asked you to write. Can you write a short article for our local newspaper about what you did with the parade? Whatever. AI can help you draft one. You can tweak it, customize it if you've never written an article. So it's those things that you've thought you never could do. AI might open that window to give you the tool to help you do it.
Sure. Just like a class teacher. I've homeschooled my children. We have 5 children, and we've got 2 in college now, and they've done very well. But it was the teaching them. I had a book that I had to use, right? So we're walking through the grammar and the lessons, and I tell you that I used that. I leaned into that to be able to teach them things that I forgot about when I was in high school. Well, now I have AI in the same regard. And I see it and I'm like, oh, these are things that I know when it's spitting it back to me, but I forgot. And so I can use the access to that information that it's pulled from everywhere in the world, that all these LLMs pull from, and it's helping me to be a better writer. It's helping me to be a better thinker. And I don't use it word for word, but at least it's helping me to do a better job. That's right off the head that came to my mind.
No, that's a good point. And here's a tip for CEOs out there and leaders, or anyone that's listening that wants to share this with their CEOs and leaders. Here's where AI can make a huge impact for training. Okay, LMs have AI already built in, but the gamification of training, I'm telling you, has been one of the biggest successes that I've had with gamification of training, because what I realized was it wasn't just a fun way to do training. It was the analytical reports that came out after. What we would do is we would create a training class, and we would do it like, a half-hour session, 2-hour session, whatever it was. And we had, presentation, PowerPoint. Then we send it to this vendor, and they created a game out of it on their app, and they send it to our employees. The employees play the games, and they get a score. And they keep on playing the games, and they can improve the score if they want to. And becomes competition, and they can win a prize from the vendor if they get top score. What we saw was they were engaged. They were learning about it even after the training, which is always good, But the powerful part, I saw the people who were improving their scores, they were continuing to learn after they left the class. More importantly, the ones whose scores did not change or even got worse, let's go back and do a refresher. They did not grasp this very well. And we were able to take the efficiency and the productivity of training from like 20% to like 60%, because we were able to see where it was working, where it wasn't working, and what caused it not to work, and tweak it for the future. So AI, again, is a tool that can help leaders, help training, help your production, help your sales, help your service, if you use it right. But imagination is not something that AI has. Imagination is something that AI is fed. And when we feed it imagination, it stores it, might use it later on, but it's not a new idea. That's why, having created books that use your imagination, like my daughter, this animal's talking to her, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if I asked it to create a children's book like this, it would not print this out. Her story was her own imagination. That's the human connection that you need in your team to create creative solutions and be able to be innovative. You need that human connection, and they need the AI to help them have the time to be able to think innovatively.
It's a power skill. I believe that like these professional development units that companies are requiring them, being able to use your imagination is a power skill. Like you need to be able to have that ability to think ahead. What would make training more palatable? Gamifying? That's a great idea. I love that. So you have to share that link so that we can be able to share that with the Witty Professional Association. That's one of our partners, to where we're working with corporates to teach them other power skills that aren't imagination. I'm going to ask the PMI Institute to add that one.
Well, and it is something that's, I mean, think about how many people play games on their phones. It's a natural thing.
Right.
Open an app and, so it's not asking them to do anything crazy different. It really is. But again, it's AI driven.
We have a stealth project right now, and we're working on helping people to learn the Bible. And there's it's a gamified version of it. You'll see it probably the end of June. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. So it's like a version of like doing. Yeah. So the idea that you can be able to use flashcards, you can use a map like Duolingo with the matching. I'm super excited about this type of education, like to be able to take the things that you want to learn and make it fun. I mean, professionals want to learn how to be better at their jobs. They want to learn how to be good leaders, to make their teams more successful. So to have it to be in a gamified version, and you can use AI to help you to do that, I would love to buy into that. I would love to talk with you more about how we can maybe collaborate on a project like that, because it's the future, right? I mean, if you're going to work, you want to enjoy it. You want to make it the next thing that you're doing tomorrow, and what that. Well, we have a lot of comments here. Let me, are there any in here that you want to point out? Any people in the audience you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I mean, I see a lot of people, a lot of good friends. Coach Carey was in the house. Let me pull up here so I can see all the comments, because
we have Joe here. Joe says he's following. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. If you haven't seen it yet, we have a school community that you can join with other knowledge experts. We'll share that in the comments here. Charles is here from Hong Kong. Thanks for coming.
Oh, Charles Caldwell. Yes. He's another HR person from Hong Kong. It's always great to see Charles. Oh, and Jay Trivia's here, and Gregory Liverpool's here. Daniel Hall's here. Michael LeBlanc, Joe Perez. So we got a lot of great people in this house here today. Thank you all for coming. Your comments have been awesome. AI is not going to go away. We're going to keep on talking about it. But it's one of those things where I've seen some people use AI too much, and that does worry me. It worries me because I'm seeing an AI image of you more than I'm seeing a real image of you. I'm seeing AI comments of yours more than real comments, and that's where those AI comments that LinkedIn doesn't like, I hate them, because if someone's going to comment, look, if it's a celebration, they say congratulations, great. But if I'm sharing a thought-provoking thing about people, workplaces, whatever, and your comment, I'd love your opinion. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, not just great post. And what those automated posts a lot of times say are great post, great post, great post, congratulate, and so they're they the same language, the same sentence over and over again. I know Daniel Hall speaks out a lot about bots and anyone who uses bots to try to make an impact, you're not making an impact. The bots are not people. They're not going to talk about you when you're not in the room. So there's nothing there. You're putting on a fake perception of who you are. And that's where I think that's where it's dangerous. Don't let it change who you are. Have it enhance who you are.
Yeah. I mean, Sean just messaged. He was saying, Coach Carey Willis, hello to you too. And it's that can't be automated. That had to been, hey, he knows somebody in the community. He wanted to reach out to say hello. That's not something that AI can do for us, or not yet anyway.
Hopefully not. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You think, okay, I'm going to share my little nerdy here. I love Star Trek, Star Wars, all those shows, sci-fi. Anyone who's watched Star Trek, let me know in the comments if you watch Star Trek, because if you watch Star Trek, especially early on, one of my favorite things, and I did change my Alexa to computer, because in Star Trek, it'd be like, computer, what are the results of this analysis? Computer, where are we? How far to this star? Whatever, and it would answer. That's kind of like where we are right now with Alexa and AI, is asking it questions and it's formulating a report for us and spitting it out. I'll go even further back. Anyone who's a superhero geek, the Bat Computer and Batman, the TV show. Remember how it always printed out all this amazing data, which was just dots. You never saw any writing, but it was an AI computer. So again, it's how we use it. not let it replace us.
That's right. So we had a comment here, heading into 2026, what's going to separate leaders who thrive from those who struggle? And we've talked about having some adaptability and emotional intelligence. What would be another that you would add to that?
Well, I think business intelligence, we use a lot of that in IT, but business intelligence is the ability to see what you need in the future and who are those players that you need to move on. Mm-hmm. I think a strong leader is going to say, I need my people and I need AI as that new player in the game moving forward. And then strategize with your team. Have a strategy planning meeting. All right. Don't do a dog and pony show for no disrespect to board members. Board members deserve a true presentation and strategy meeting, but have your own. Have your own for your team. Strategize for the next year, 3 years, 5 years. What are your plans? What are you going to accomplish this year, short term? What's the long-term goal? Knowing that that's going to change. And I think that's what's important right now is have a game plan, because if not, you're just playing catch up or you're mimicking what other people are doing. And other people's companies is not your company. So take ownership, take leadership, and bring the people that you trusted and hired to give you the insight that you deserve to help you move forward and succeed. But it's got to be a team effort. It's got to be different ideas and different perspectives, and open-minded to trying things differently, and fail fast if they don't work. But don't let fear stop you from trying something new.
I believe that's a strategic move for any leader, to be thinking about the relationships within the company. If they are A players, you hired them with a great purpose. You saw the skills that they had, the knowledge, expertise that they had, and you brought them on. So their opinion should have some weight in the decision so that you can be able to build the company. And that human connection can't be replaced by AI.
Nope, they can't. And anyone that thinks, and look, there are people out there that have had a relationship with AI. They actually have gone to therapy because that's an extreme bad case. We're not. So it's one of those things where the relationships, human relationships, let's build on those. And those are the ones that are going to be invaluable. And when AI is spinning out the same idea, it's our imagination that's going to say, oh, well, what if we did this? Mm-hmm. So tap into that human experience that you hired because you believed they were good, and let them prove that they're good.
Yeah. Michelle says, trust is the key with AI adoption. Yes. So tell me, if any of the professionals here that came, if they're going to remember one thing from our conversation today, what would you say it should be?
To lead with, all right, I would say for anyone, whether you're a leader or you're an individual that is just trying to figure out the world of AI and human connection, I'd say be confident in who you are and what you own and what you know. Be curious about what you don't know and go learn about it. Be grateful for what you have. Be compassionate to yourself and to others, and be tenacious, because you got this and you're going to move forward.
I like it. And I'm going to hold on to the human in the loop acronym. That was excellent. And I want to help us to remember that each one of these experts that we're working with, we're going to help them to move beyond the content. We're going to structure opportunities where they can build relationships. And as we learn about AI together, that we learn how to use it appropriately, in a way that it drives influence, it drives revenue, it drives opportunity for us to enhance our performance, rather than having that fear that we don't know what we're doing, or the lack of connection, because like you said, you're looking in the comments, if they're bot generated, that's not building that trust and credibility. So I look forward to continuing this conversation online, and helping our viewers to join us for more of these kinds of conversations.
Yeah, word of mouth. Word of mouth about the show and sharing it with others so they can join in the future. But word of mouth is another thing that AI can't quite do. So when you have that powerful message of word of mouth and saying, hey, this is a great product to try, or try this new phone, or try this new bank, or try this new job, that's a unique thing that we need to tap into. And don't forget that our human cells add so much more value than AI.
Mhm. Well, thank you for joining today. I'd like to narrow in that we're going to build this well. We're not just going to create more content. We're not just going to have more events that are sponsored by Top Voices Unite or sharing things that doesn't build the ecosystem where real people and real expertise is going to help professionals grow. That's what the goal is. We want to help companies retain, develop their talent, and we want every partner that comes to join us that gets involved, we want to help them to have a clear path to visibility, credibility, and revenue. So I really appreciate you coming today to be a part of this conversation, and I hope that we can continue this offline, figure out ways that we can partner. So exciting with
I
the
want
game.
to collaborate, partner, support each other 110%. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone that came today to join us. We appreciate the time and your attention, and we look forward to seeing you on our next event. Have a great day.
Adios.
But we could just stay here. You say, Annalie, we'll wrap up so we can let everyone get back to their day.
Yeah, hope everyone has a good day. It's a little cloudy outside of DC, but it's supposed to get sunny the rest of the week finally after all the rain.
That's nice.
And I look forward to hearing about. I want to hear about your boat trips. I look forward to hearing about that. That sounds very, very fascinating.
Yeah, I'll be publishing more content on it. So we haven't had this happen. I'm gonna reach out to her. Every time there's always something exciting.